जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवर धारी जय गिरिवर धारी जय यशोदा नंदना जय भजन रंजना जय यशोदानंदना जय भजन रंजना जय यशोदानंदना जय व्रजजन रंजना जय यशोदानंदना जय व्रजजन रंजना जय यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव रमाई की जय राधा माधव की जय नरसिंह भगवान की जय पंचतत्व की जय षड गोस्वामी की जय गुरु परंपरा की जय श्री गोपाल की जय गुरुदेव सिंह ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके bhaktir naistiki. By regular attendance in classes of the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So Hare Krishna, Pravis Matagis, thank you very much for joining and welcome all of you for this Srimad Bhagavatam session. So today we'll be discussing from 4th canto, 12th chapter. There are two verses, verse number 40 and 41. So 4, 12, 40. Let us recite first these verses. महिमानं विलोक्यास्य नारदो भगवान् ऋषिः आतोद्यं वितुदन् श्लोकान् सत्रेऽगायत् प्रचेतसाम् महिमानं विलोक्यास्य नारदो भगवान् ऋषिः आतोद्यं वितुदन् श्लोकान् सत्रेऽगायत् प्रचेतसाम्. Anyone, Prabhu or Mataji can recite. Oh, sorry, I just share the screen. Is anybody wants to recite? Yes, Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada. Mahimanam vilokasya narado bhagavan rishihi atyodhyam vitudhan shlokan satre gayat prachetasam. Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna. Thank you. What are your word meanings? Mahimanam, glories, Vilokya, observing, Asya, of Dhruva Maharaj, Narada, the great sage Narada, Bhagwan, equally as exalted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishihi, the saint, Atodyam, the stringed instrument Veena, Vitudan, playing on, Shlokan, verses, Satre, in the sacrificial arena, Agayat, chanted, Prachetasam, of the Prachetas. Translation and purport by Divine Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. After observing the glories of Dhruva Maharaj, the great sage Narada, playing his veena, went to the sacrificial arena of the Prachetas and very happily chanted the following three verses. Purport. The great sage Narada was the spiritual master of Dhruva Maharaj. Certainly, he was very glad to see Dhruva's glories. As a father, he is very happy to see the son's advancement in every respect. So, the spiritual master is very happy to observe the ascendancy of his disciple. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. We're in the 41st verse. Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Patidevatayas Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tamgatim Drishvabhyupayan Api Veda Vyadino Naivadigantum Prabhavanti Kim Nripaha Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Patidevatayas Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tamgatim Drishvabhyupayan Api Vedavadino Naivadigantum Prabhavanti Kim Nripaha. One Prabhu and one Mataji can recite. Good.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I?
Yes, Madam.
Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Patidevataya Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tam Gatim Drushtvabhyupayan Api Vedavadino Naivadigantum Prabhavanti Kim Rupaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare
Dhanyavad.
Krishna. Anybody else wants to recite?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Patidevataya's Tapah Prabhavasya Sutasya Tangatim Drishtvaabhyupayanapi Vedavadino Naivadigantum Prabhavanti Kinrupaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Synonyms word to word meaning. Narada Uvacha, Narada said, Nunam, certainly, Sunite of Suniti, Pati Devatayaha, very much attached to her husband. Tapa Prabhavasya, by the influence of austerity. Sutasya, of the sun. Tam, that. Gatim, position. Drishtva, observing. Abhyupayan, the means. Api, although. Vedavadinaha, strict followers of the Vedic principles, or the so-called Vedantists. No, never. Eva, certainly. Adigantum, to attain. Prabhavanti, are eligible. Kim, what to speak. What to speak of. Nirpaha, ordinary kings. Translation and purport by Divine Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The great sage Narada said, simply by the influence of his spiritual advancement and powerful austerity, Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Suniti, who was devoted to her husband, acquired an exalted position not possible to attain even for the so-called Vedantists or strict followers of Vedic principles, not to speak of ordinary human beings. Purport. In this verse, the word Vedavadinaha is very significant. Generally, a person who strictly follows the Vedic principles is called Vedavadi. There are also so-called Vedantists who advertise themselves as followers of Vedanta philosophy, but who misinterpret Vedanta. The expression Vedavada Rataha is also found in the Bhagavad Gita, referring to persons who are attached to the Vedas without understanding the purport of the Vedas. Such persons may go on talking about the Vedas or may execute austerities in their own way, but it is not possible for them to attain such an exalted position as Dhruva Maharaj. As far as ordinary kings are concerned, it is not at all possible. The specific mention of kings is significant because formerly kings were also Rajarishis, for the kings were as good as great sages. Dhruva Maharaj was a king, and at the same time, he was as learned as a great sage. But without devotional service, this word is very important. But without devotional service, neither a great king, a Kshatriya, nor a great Brahmana, strictly adhering to the Vedic principles, can be elevated to the exalted position attained by Dhruva Maharaj. So, how important is devotional service, right? हरे कृष्ण प्रभुपाद की जय ओम ज्ञानमरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति सुपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथामितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganadita Shri Vishakha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pramami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Ananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yonta Pravishya Mamavacha Vimam Prasuptam, Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Dharasvadhamna, Anyam Chahasta Charana Shravanatogadin, Prana Namo Bhagavate, Shayatubhyam. Mukam Karoti Vacham, Mukam Karoti Vacham, Namo Krishna 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 Namo Krishna Krishna Namo Krishna 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 Namo Krishna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram. So Hare Krishna Prabhu's Matais, thank you for keeping the appointment today for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So it's so very auspicious and very fortunate to be able to come and attend and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And all the more to recite the shlokas, right? Chanting Hare Krishna. These are so auspicious. So let us see what we can learn from these two verses and what can be applied in our daily life. See, if you follow the Guru, no, spiritual master, because Dhruva Maharaj follow the instructions of Narada Muni, and you can see within 6 months, right? Shortest possible, he was able to see the Lord face to face. See, if you follow the spiritual master, no, you will act in such a way that everyone is pleased. Very important point. So we should be loving to everyone, right? That is the way of the Vaishnavas or the devotees. So it doesn't matter whom you are loving, just be loving. And my Guru Maharaj used to say, don't love only those who satisfy your senses. Don't love only those who satisfy your senses. Be loving. So we have been seeing this wonderful chapter of the Guru Maharaj episodes, right? Starting from the 4th chapter, 8th chapter, now till the 12th. So wonderful lessons we have been learning. So we are trying to inculcate those wonderful qualities of Dhruva Maharaj in our lives. Let us pray to Guru, Prabhupada and Krishna, right? So here we are seeing that Prabhupada says in the first one, no? The great say Narada was the spiritual master of Dhruva Maharaj. And certainly, Narada Muni was very glad to see Dhruva Maharaj's glories. See, as a father is very happy to see the son's advancement, right, in any respect. So the spiritual master is also very happy to see the ascendancy of his disciple. That's what Prabhupada sees in the translation. See, Narada Muni is always glorifying the pastimes of the Lord, right? Which we all know. But in the 4th canto, 13th chapter, 4th verse, purport, Prabhupada says that in this verse, we see that not only does Narada Muni glorify the Lord, but he also likes to glorify the devotees of the Lord. See, the Narada Muni's mission is to broadcast the devotional service of the Lord. See, for this purpose, Narada Muni has compiled Narada Pancharatra, which is actually a directory of the devotional service, so that the devotees can always take information about how to execute devotional service and engage 24 hours a day in performing sacrifices for the pleasure of Krishna. See, as it is given in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has created 4 orders of social life, right? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So in the Narada Pancharatra, it is very clearly described how each of the social orders can please the Supreme Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita 18.45, Sve Sve Karmani Abhirata Samsiddhim Labhate Naraha. By executing one's prescribed duties, one can please the Supreme Lord Krishna. That's why in Bhagavatam 1.2.13, it is stated, Swanushtistasya dharmasya samsiddhir hari toshanam. The perfection of duty is to see that by discharging one's specific duties, one satisfies the Supreme Lord Krishna. So when the Prachetas were performing sacrifices, according to the direction, Narada Muni, he was satisfied to see these activities. And he also, in fact, in that arena, when he went there, right, he wanted to glorify Dhruva Maharaj in that sacrificial area. So much happy he was to see his disciples progress. Even better than him, so doesn't matter. See, Krishna is not an Indian or a Hindu, right? Krishna is everything. Prabhupada says in one of the classes, right? Krishna is everything. He's not an Indian or Hindu. Everyone is Krishna's sons in any form. Sarva Yonishu, right? Yoni means species. So there are 84 lakh species. So all of them are living entities. And they are part and parcel of Krishna. So the point to understand is Krishna is, in fact, more anxious to see his sons and daughters become very happy. Just like father wants to see his son very happy. So Krishna has admitted that he is the Bija Pradha Pita. Bija, he is the Supreme Father. So as the father wants to see his sons very happy, similarly Krishna wants to see all of us very happy. That is Krishna. But what happens? We are persistently avoiding Krishna and suffering. That has become our business, to suffer. We don't feel that we are suffering. That's why Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam dharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham. 4.7 Bhagavad Gita says. So he comes to not to destroy the demons, that they can destroy without his coming also, but to please and be pleasing to the devotees, right? To give pleasure to the devotees. See, Prabhupada, in one of the classes, he said, while they were coming from Philadelphia, the captain, that is the pilot, he had a question. He used to hear, it seems. He had a very intelligent question. He asked Prabhupada, if everything is created by God, right? And then what is this evil? Evil is also God's creation. Is it? So Prabhupada said, for God, there is no good or evil. Everything is good. So Prabhupada gave the example. See, God's front side, right? That is good. And evil means God's backside. That is, we can say they give the example of the chest or the back of the body. They are actually equal, right? The chest, this side and the back side, both are equal. So it is not that when there is some pain on the backside, I don't care for it. And I simply take care only when the pain is in the chest. No. Although it is the backside, it is as important as the front side. So then evil and good is also the same importance. And he gave the example of the sun. When the sun is there, for the sun there is no darkness, right? See, anywhere on the side of sun's body, there is no darkness. But for us, there is light and darkness. So if you keep yourself on the backside of the sun, you will find darkness. And if you keep yourself in the front, there is no darkness. It is light. So it is my business, right? I create darkness and I create, right? So as soon as I change my position, instead of remaining in front of Krishna, I keep Krishna on the backside, then there is darkness. Otherwise, there is no question of darkness. So God is all good. And for us, when we forget Krishna, that is evil. And when we are in God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, always everything is good. So God is all good. There is no good or evil. Given no apapa viddham. In the Ishopanishad, you will find the description apapa viddham. The Isho mantra 8. See, whatever God does, that is all good. But if we imitate God, then it is evil. So that is the disease of material disease. See, when a student hears the spiritual subjects very attentively, the spiritual master becomes very happy. See, Kapil Dev was very happy to see his mother, Devahuti, eager to understand the spiritual subject matters. She was asking questions, right? We saw in the previous chapters. So he therefore thanked his mother for her inquiry. See, generally, people are interested in things that give immediate pleasure. We want everything fast. We want to taste something tasty to the tongue, regardless of whether it is edible or not. See, hogs are they eat stool. They do so without discrimination. They have no idea of tapasya or penance. So when one engages in this spiritual realization, one has to undergo tapasya. And this has been made very easy by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Cheto darpana marjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam. See, all we have to do is spare a little moment, right? Little time to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But we are not even ready for this much tapasya. Krishna is more interested in leading us in that path of liberation than we want to go. Right? He is eager. So he has given us a very simple method. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. We need only to chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To perfect this chanting of Hare Krishna, there is no hard and fast rule, no regulations, nothing. Simply by chanting, we will attain perfection. But being contaminated by Kali Yuga, we are really unfortunate. Therefore, we have no attraction to the holy names of Krishna. That's why when Kapil Deva or his representative, they see someone a little interested, he becomes very glad and thanks him. So when Kapil Deva saw his mother interested, he thanked his mother from within, not openly. He was thanking. The Kapil Deva was very glad, and he began to speak. Kapil Deva was an incarnation of God, and he was a young boy. So his face was very beautiful. So when he answered this question, he became even more beautiful. And he smiled because he was pleased at his mother's questions. It's all related to Krishna, right? See, Krishna is also very, very beautiful. But do you know, when a devotee serves Krishna and comes to Krishna, Krishna becomes even more beautiful. When a devotee with all his heart and soul serves Krishna, dresses Krishna in a nice garments and gives him a flower, Krishna smiles. So if you can get Krishna to smile upon you just once, your life's goal is fulfilled. See, according to the revealed scriptures, if a spiritual master can convert even one soul into a perfectly pure devotee, his mission in life is fulfilled. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura always used to say, even at the expense of all the properties, temples, and matas that I have, if I could convert even one person into pure devotee, my mission would be fulfilled. It is very difficult, however, to understand the science of Krishna. So, what to speak of developing love of Godhead? So if you by the grace of Krishna, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the spiritual master, if by that grace the disciple attains the standard of pure devotional service, the spiritual master is very happy. The spiritual man is not actually happy if the disciple brings him money. No. But when he sees that a disciple is following the regulative principles and advancing in the spiritual life, he is very glad and feels obliged to such an advanced disciple. See, when a disciple becomes perfect, no, spiritual master is feeling very, very happy. Because they follow the instructions of spiritual master as it is. They don't take it and as whimsically they follow the instructions. No, as it is. See, because when a disciple follows the instructions of the spiritual master, he feels so happy, right? Just like a father. See, that's the point. Father also feels very happy when the son is advancing. See, in this world, nobody wants to see anybody more advanced than himself, correct? This is matsarata, enviousness. If anybody becomes advanced in any subject matter than me, then I become envious of him. But the spiritual master, the father, they never become envious. They feel very, very happy that my son, my disciple, has advanced more than me. Correct? That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master encourages now Mahaprabhu. Now you're doing very well, you're following my instructions. Now go on. You achieved so much success. Go, nacho, nacho, gao. He's saying sing and chant in the association of devotees. So that is the real platform of achieving success in spiritual life. See, Narottama Das Thakura says in one of these Kirtan, birth after birth, right? Birth after birth. This because a devotee, he does not aspire after going back to Godhead, right? He does not aspire to go back to Godhead. Any place doesn't matter, wherever he is. He wants to simply glorify the Lord. That is his business. See, it is not the business of Bhakta that he is chanting and dancing and executing devotional service for going to Vaikuntha or Goloka. That is Krishna's desire. We should not have that. I have to go back, so I'm chanting. No. You just feel happy, enjoy in doing this devotional service. Chanting, dancing, prasad, right? So going to Goloka is Krishna's desire. If he likes, he will take us. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Icha yadi Tora. Right? So the devotee only prays. He only prays. He does not request Krishna. Please take me back to Vaikuntha or Goloka. No. If he says, if you think that I must take birth again, see, the prayer is like this. If you want to pray, Krishna, if you think that I must take a birth again, that's all right. But the only request is that give me a birth in the house of a devotee. That's all. So I may not forget you. So this is only prayer of the devotee. Just like the child, right? For example, a child has taken birth in a Vaishnava father and mother. So he or she must have a Vaishnavi or Vaishnava in her previous life. She might have been, right? Because this is an opportunity. See, all our children, those who are born of a Vaishnava father and mother, they are very, very fortunate. See, from the very beginning of life, they are hearing Krishna Katha, Hare Krishna Mantra. They are associating with Vaishnavas, chanting, dancing, right? Very, very fortunate children. So they are not ordinary children. They are always anchoring after association with devotees, chanting Hare Krishna Mantra, coming in the association with devotees, right? So they are not ordinary children. So this is a very, very good opportunity. So our Krishna, Prabhupada says, our Krishna conscious society is a Bhakta Sangha, the society of devotees. And he said, he was telling, never try to go away. 2 times he said, never try to go away. He said, discrepancies may be there. You should adjust. And the chanting and dancing, within the society of devotees has got a great advantage, great value. And all the Vaishnavas have confirmed this. So the devotee's desire is not to go back to Godhead. When Krishna will desire, Krishna will allow me. So that is a different thing. So otherwise, Otherwise, what happens? Let me go in this ways. Just a business. No, nothing, not like that. Just as a ritual. See, anything desiring, no, that is anya abhilashita shunyam. A devotee should not desire anything except that let me live with the society of devotees and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is for life. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. In the 41st verse, they are talking about Vedavadina, Vedantis, and right. See, in the ISKCON movement, this International Society of Krishna Consciousness is a bona fide religious society. Prabhupada in one of his letters says, strictly following the principles described in the Vedic scriptures and practiced in India for thousands of years. So Prabhupada said that our belief is the recommended means of attaining the mature stage of love of Godhead in the present age of Kali is to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Easiest method for most people is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Easiest method. And Prabhupada says our basic mission is to propagate the Sankirtana movement, that is chanting of the holy names of God, all around the world, as was recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, people in this age are reluctant to understand about God consciousness because of their unfortunate condition of life. See, they are working very hard day and night simply for sense gratification. But this transcendental vibration of this Sankirtana, no, it will knock at the door of their hearts to awaken their spirituality. So they should be given the chance for this opportunity, right? It is not recommended that a Krishna conscious devotee just go into a separate, secluded place for chanting himself and gain salvation for himself alone. No. Prabhupada says our duty and religious obligation is to go out into the streets where the people in general can hear the chanting and see the dancing. And he gave the example of the people, especially practically how the process in America and Europe, right? They've been saved from the immoral practices of Kali Yuga and have now dedicated their lives in the service of Krishna. This is a powerful message of the Sankirtana movement. Prabhupada says a good character means, you know what is a good character? Good character means avoiding the sinful activities. What are those? Intoxication, illicit sex life, gambling, and meat eating. Avoiding these things is what is good character. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has claimed that he is the father of all living entities, regardless of the form. So there are 84 lakh species of life forms, and Krishna claims that he is the father of all. Now, because the living entities, they're part and parcel of Krishna, they're all sons of the Lord, right? And for their benefit, because they are hovering under the impression that they can lord it over material nature, right? Vedas are given to them for their guidance. Vedas are for the guidance. So Vedas are called Apaurusheya. Apaurusheya. For they are not written by any man or demigod. Including the first living creature, Brahma. See, Brahma is not the creator or author of the Vedas. He is also one of the living beings in this material world. Therefore, he does not have the power to write or speak the Vedas independently. See, Prabhupada says, every living entity within this material world is subject to 4 deficiencies. He commits mistakes, he accepts one thing for another, right? He cheats, he has imperfect senses, illusioned. So Vedas, not written by any living creature within this material world. That's why they are said to be Apaurusheya. So Bhagavad Gita is Apaurusheya. So it was not spoken by any human being or any demigod of this material creation. It was spoken by Krishna himself, who is beyond the material creation. And this is accepted by stalwart scholars, right? Prabhupada says in the purport of, I think, 4 to 31. He says this is accepted by such stalwart scholars as Shankaracharya. And not to speak of other acharyas such as Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. See, Shankaracharya has accepted that Narayana and Krishna are transcendental. And Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna has established Aham sarvasya prabhavo matah sarvam pravartate. I am the origin of everything. Everything emanates from me. See, this material creation, including Brahma and Shiva and all the demigods, has been created by him, right? For everything has emanated from him. And he also says that the purpose of all the Vedas is to understand Krishna. Him, Vedasya Sarve Raham Eva Vedyo, 15.15 Bhagavad Gita says. So he is the original Vedavid, or knower of the Vedas, and Vedanta Krit, or compiler of Vedanta. Brahma is not the compiler of Vedas. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is established, Tene Brahma Hridaya Hadikavi. The supreme absolute truth, personality of God, had instructed Brahma in the Vedic knowledge through his heart. The first verse of the Bhagavatam, 111. So the evidence that Vedic knowledge is free from the defects of mistakes, illusions, cheating, and imperfections is that it is spoken by Krishna himself, Janardana, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, it has been followed from time immemorial, beginning from Brahma. See, the Vedas describe how to divide the human race into 4 divisions according to quality and working capacity. So it's a very scientific system, and it's also known as Sanatana, because no one can trace out the history. It has no dissolution. No one can stop the system of Varna and Ashrama, right? So, for example, whether or not one accepts the name Brahmana, okay, there is a class in society which is known as the intelligent class, and which is interested in spiritual understanding and philosophy. Now, similarly, there is a class of men who are interested in administration and in ruling others. So, in the Vedic system, these martially spirited men are called Kshatriyas. And similarly, everywhere there is a class of men who are interested in economic development, business, industry, money making, and they are called Vaishyas. And there is another class who are neither intelligent, nor materially spirited, nor endowed with capacity for economic development, but who simply can serve others. They are called Shudras, or the laborer class. So this system is Sanatana. It comes from time immemorial, and it will continue in the same way. See, there is no power in the world which can stop it. Now, since this Sanatana Dharma system is eternal, one can elevate himself to the highest standard of spiritual life just by following the Vedic principles. So it is said in that formerly the sages followed this system. Therefore, to follow the Vedic system is to follow the standard etiquette of society. See, Prabhupada says the conclusion is that persons who rebel against the Vedic principles are themselves the evidence that the Vedas are authoritative. Because by not following the Vedic principles, they become like animals. Such animalistic persons are themselves evidence of the supremacy of the Vedic regulations. We need regulations. See, according to Vedic civilization, one who does not follow the Vedic principle he is called a Nastik. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained about the Buddhist. Buddhists, no, they do not believe in the Vedic injunction. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Vedana Mania Bauddha Hayata Nastika. Buddhists are called Nastik, atheist. Why? Vedana Mania. He does not believe in the Vedas. Chaitanya Madhya Lila 6.168. Hypocrites, right? He accepts the Vedas, but he preaches atheism. See, just like we are praying, Shunyavadi, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschata Deshatarine. These two, very dangerous position, Nirvishesha. So the Buddhists, they say there is no God, Shunyavadi. Everything at the end, everything is zero. They say you have got this body. When the body is finished, then everything becomes zero. Because they do not believe in the soul, nor in the God. So there are many Nastics, right? They say the body I see it burnt into ashes. Then where is life? No life, there is no soul. So this is Bauddhyavada, Shunyavada. Everything becomes zero. And Vedashraya Nastikavada, Nastikyavada, Mayavadis. One is Buddhist, the next is Mayavadis. They do not say Mayavadis. They do not say there is no God. Because in the Vedas there is God, right? So they do not say directly, but they say, yes, there is God, but he has no head, no leg, no hand, he cannot talk. he cannot eat. Then what remains? He is making zero God. Zero by negative definition. He has no head, no hand, no leg. So both of them, both the Buddhas and Mayavadis, zeros. Advocate for zero. Sorry. One directly says there is no God, everything is zero. Mayavadis Nirvisheshavadi. They say some same thing, zero, but in a different way. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that these Mayavadis, Zerovadis, they are more dangerous than Bauddha. All these Mayavadi sannyasis, they are very learned, but they will never accept the form of God. They say it is Kalpana, it is imagination. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has designated them as very dangerous, these Mayavadis. So yes, therefore strictly forbidden. If you hear from Mother Mayavadi speaking, no, your future is doomed, he says. You are finished. Because as soon as they have become infected with Mayavada philosophy, it will take millions of years to come to the platform of devotional service. It is so dangerous. Mayavadi Bhashya Shunile Haya Sarvanasha. Sarvanasha means everything is finished. When you become godless or you think yourself as you are God. So Mayavadi do that. So they accept God, Krishna as God, but Krishna's body is Maya. He assumed a form with a body which is created by Maya. Just like our body is created by Maya. So very dangerous. See, in 6140 purport, Srila Madhavacharya, the original Acharya for those who belong to the Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya, he says, the transcendental words of the Vedas emanated from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Vedic principle should be understood to be a Vaishnava principle. Because Vishnu is the origin of the Vedas, right? So Vedas contain nothing besides the instructions of the Lord. And one who follows the Vedic principles is a Vaishnava. The Vaishnava is not a member of manufactured community of this middle world. A Vaishnava is a real knower of the Vedas. As is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Vedescha sarver ahameva vedya. See, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 12.180 purport, Prabhupada says, Sarvabhauma Bhadracharya was previously a Smarta Brahmana. That is, one who strictly follows the Vedic principles on the mundane platform. See, on the mundane platform, one cannot believe that Prasadam is transcendental, that Govinda is the original form of Supreme Personality Godhead, or that Vaishnava is a liberated person. They cannot believe. So these transcendental considerations are out of the ordinary Vedic scholars' jurisdiction. See, most Vedic scholars, no, they are called Vedantists. These so-called followers of Vedanta philosophy consider the absolute truth to be impersonal. They also believe that a person born in a particular caste cannot change his caste until he dies and takes rebirth. So the Smarta Brahmanas also reject the fact that Mahaprasadam, food offered to the deity, is transcendental and materially contaminated. They don't, they reject it. It is not fact, they say. They don't believe it. So originally, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was subjected to all the rules and regulations of the Vedic principles on the mundane platform. My Prabhupada says, now Gopinath Acharya pointed out, because after the discussion, after coming in touch with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was converted. So he had been converted by the causeless mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So being converted, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he partook the prasadam with the Vaishnavas. He started taking. He sat side by side with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is the power of the devotional service. See, 19.146 purport of Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya, the word Veda means knowledge, supreme knowledge. So supreme knowledge consists of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead and our relationship with Him and acting according to that relationship. So action in accordance with the Vedic principles is called religion. Religion means following the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Vedic principles are, what are they? They are injunctions given by Krishna. You know, Aryans are the civilized human beings who have been following the Vedic principles since time immemorial. See, no one can trace out the history of the Vedic principles, how, when it was set forth, so that we can understand better the Supreme Personality Godhead. See, literature or knowledge that seeks the Supreme Being can be accepted as a bona fide religious system. But there are many different types of religious systems according to the place, disciples, people's capacity to understand. But the highest type of religious system is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-6. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje. The highest form of religion is that by which one becomes fully conscious of the existence of Krishna, including his form, name, qualities, pastimes, abode, and his all-pervasive features. So when everything is completely known, that is the perfection of Vedic knowledge. So the fulfillment of Vedic knowledge is systematic knowledge of the characteristics of Krishna. This is confirmed by Krishna, right? In the Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Again, Vedescha sarverahameva Vedya. So the aim of Vedic knowledge is to understand Krishna. So those who are actually following Vedic knowledge and searching after God cannot commit sinful activities, right, against the order of the Lord. But in this age of Kali, although men they profess to belong to so many different kinds of religions, most of them commit sinful activities against the order of Vedic principles. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Veda nishiddha papa kare, dharma nahi gane. In this age, men may profess the religion, but they actually do not follow the principles. So they commit all kinds of sins. See, Matais and Pujis, we all know that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. But not many of us ponder, no? Why did he choose Arjuna to speak this most glorious and transcendental subject of knowledge? Well, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita itself that he is speaking this confidential science to Arjuna because Arjuna is his most dearest friend. So we need to know, how did Arjuna become Krishna's dearest friend? It is not just by putting his hands on Krishna's shoulder, right, and speak informally that Arjuna became his friend. There are certain uncommon qualities, that Arjuna possessed that made Krishna accept him as his dear friend. See, we cannot exhaust the transcendental qualities of pure devotees with our puny intelligence, right? But we strive to do it because by trying to understand them and share them with others, our hearts get purified. By discussing the glories of Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, all the wonderful devotees, right? See, one of the important quality of Arjuna is exhibited in the episode where the Pandavas had to live incognito for 1 year in the kingdom of Virat. So Arjuna disguised himself as a dancer, Japamsaka, and was teaching dance to the royal princess. Now Duryodhana, he somehow sensed that the Pandavas were staying in the palace of Virat and tried to instigate a fight with the king. So when the king came to know that Duryodhana and his people are attacking their region, he was worried. So Arjuna encouraged the king and said, he will drive the chariot for the prince Uttara, who can defeat the enemies. So when Arjuna and Uttara went to fight Duryodhana's troops, Uttara became very frightened, no? He started to run away. But Arjuna caught hold of the running Uttara and gave him courage. And he revealed his true form of Arjuna. He told him, I am Arjuna. Then Arjuna started a ferocious fight and defeated all the big warriors who accompanied Duryodhana. So on seeing Arjuna's valor, no, Uttara also gained courage and supported in the fight. On their return, Arjuna again dressed as a dancer and entered the kingdom. He told the king that the prince Uttara's great valor and strength was a cause of victory. And he very highly praised the prince. See, we can see the normal tendency in all of us is to be a winner. And that to win at all cost. If that means putting down the efforts of others. Rarely we do see anyone willing to take a back seat and let others bask in the intelligence, right? In the glory. So Arjuna exhibited the true nature of a noble person, endowed with some special qualities, right? So he letting Uttara get all the glorification. See, it is in ordinary human nature to look with contempt on lower levels of contact in ability, right? What happens? The rich, they put down the poor. The beautiful hate the plain. The strong hate the weak. Brave men despise the cowards, right? But Arjuna was no ordinary man, but a great soul and a true hero who felt that his duty as a strong, brave man was to help others to rise above their weakness, knowing that the nature had endowed him with courage and bravery at birth. So he owed them to no special exertions on his part, right? So he had the true humility of a really great soul, right? And he did what he could do to put courage into Uttara and make him worthy of his lineage. So this was Arjuna's characteristic nobility. He never abused his strength and power, right? See, one of his many names is Bhibatsu. Bhibatsu means one who shrank from doing any unworthy act. And he lived up to it. See, he knew very well that the source of his strength and power was Krishna. So he did not see any need to get glorified, but instead desired to make Uttara get the glorification so that he will be encouraged to serve Krishna in that capacity. So special transcendental qualities are as exhibited by Arjuna in this incident, no? Such as nobility, humility, happy to see others glorified, forced Krishna to be attracted to Arjuna. So Narada Muni exhibits this glorious quality when he shares the happy news of Dhruva Maharaj returning back to Godhead to the Prachetas. He was with so much joy he was reciting, right? He said, just see how Dhruva Maharaj, this is actually in the 42nd verse, next verse will be there. How Dhruva Maharaj, aggrieved at the harsh words of his stepmother, went to the forest at the age of only 5 years and under my direction underwent austerity. Although Supreme Personality Godhead is unconquerable, Dhruva Maharaj defeated him with the specific qualifications possessed by the Lord's devotees. So we can see similar nature in great devotees, such as Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas in our parampara. Srila Prabhupada always made us feel as if we can also achieve the same level of devotion like him. In fact, my Guru Maharaj also exhibited this uncommon humility, in making us all feel as if we can also study and speak Bhagavatam like him. And we can also do devotion service like him. While in reality, his level of devotion is unparalleled and inconceivable. So following in their footsteps, let us try to encourage each other and be happy in seeing others getting glorification. A person who is always absorbed in Krishna consciousness is called a devotee of Krishna. A person who is always absorbed in Krishna consciousness is called a devotee of Krishna. See in 4.9.19 purport, Prabhupada says, the Lord is so merciful to his devotees that he immediately said to Dhruva Maharaj, let there be all good fortune for you. The fact is that Dhruva Maharaj was very much afraid in his mind, right? Because he had aspired after material benefit before coming in discharging his devotion service. And this was hampering him from reaching the stage of love of God. That's why in Bhagavad Gita 2.44, it is said, Bhogeshwarya Prasaktana. Those who are attached to material pleasure cannot be attracted to devotion service. It was true that at heart, Dhruva Maharaj wanted a kingdom that would be far better than Brahmaloka. So this was a natural desire for a Kshatriya. And he was also only 5 years old. And in his childish way, he desired to have a kingdom far greater than his father's grandfather, or great grandfathers, right? His father, Uttanapada, was a son of Manu. And Manu was a son of Brahma. So Dhruva wanted to excel all these great family members. So the Krishna knew, Lord knew that Dhruva Maharaj's childish ambition. But how was it possible to offer Dhruva Maharaj a position more exalted than Lord Brahma? Lord assured Dhruva Maharaj that Dhruva would not be bereft of the Lord's love. He encouraged Dhruva not to be worried about that he childishly had a material desire. At the same time, had the pure aspiration to be a great devotee. Generally, Krishna does not award a pure devotee material opulence, even though he may desire it. But Dhruva Maharaj's case was different. The Lord knew that he was such a great devotee that in spite of him having a material opulence, he would never be deviated from the love of God. This is a point to understand, very powerful point. So this example illustrates that A highly qualified devotee can have the facility of mental enjoyment, at the same time execute love of God. Prabhupada writes in the last line, this, however, was a special case for Dhruva Maharaj. See, Prahlad Maharaj, although he was born of a father who was an atheist, number one, by the grace of Narada Muni, Prahlad Maharaj became a great devotee. So again, in the case, just like in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, here also. See, Prahlad Maharaj's father, Hiranyakashipu, he was very careful that nobody comes and instructs his son about the Vedic way of life or God consciousness or Krishna consciousness. Same in the middle. Now also people say, any Prabhu coming home, the whole family may not be Krishna conscious. Oh, this they'll try to be careful that the child doesn't become Krishna conscious. Or sometimes the other way around, people send the children for Krishna, but they themselves don't come. Long back, I think, one of classes I heard, there is one father who bringing his son. Maharaj was there, so please take him so that he'll do good mandapa service. He said, Maharaj told him, okay, your child is okay. Why don't you come? No, it is already told, no? If we have one devotee in the family, 21 generations will be taken care of. So one devotee in my family, my child is there, I can go back. So don't be lazy, right? Maharaj said. So here he was, Hiranyakashipu was not allowing. So he was appointed teachers for his son. He was very careful. But nowadays we have the secular state, no? Don't talk of God. Atheist classes are there. They do not know, they are not, they cannot improve without the spiritual activities, devotional service. No, but they say secular, don't talk of God. How can they improve by that? The situation is becoming grimmer and grimmer day by day. They have no eyes to see. This godless civilization will not make them happy. And that's a fact. 5:18:12 says, Harao bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena asato dhavato bahihi. If one is godless, then however qualified he may be from the mental point of view, he is useless. He cannot have any good quality. Why? Manorathena asato dhavato bahihi. Because he is on the material platform, mental platform. So by speculation on the mental platform, he will accept which is not spiritual, asata. Asato mam sadgamaha. That is the Vedic engineer. See, don't keep yourself in asata, but try to transcend to the sat platform. Om tat sat. That means spiritual platform. So those who have no spiritual knowledge, they are on the mental platform. There are many platforms, apart from the railway platforms. Many platforms of our life. So ordinarily we are bodily, right? I am this body. Sense gratification. So those who are disgusted with sense gratification, they go a little higher on the mental platform. Mental speculation like philosophy, poetry. Gross means they are working very hard day and night for sense gratification, just like hogs and dogs. So that is stated in the Shastras. Nayam deha deo bhajam nirlokya kashtan kama arahate vidbujam. 551. Rishabdeva says to his sons that this human form of life is not meant for working so hard like cats and dogs. That is not recommended. I am there. But the middle world, no, people are so enchanted, working day and night. They think I am enjoying. This is called Maya. Actually, he's working day and night and he's thinking that I'm happy. I'm making progress. That is Maya. See, the world is situation is very, very downward. Right? We're not making progress. So this is a point to understand. So we have to come to the devotional service. That will only take us back to Godhead. See, Prahlad Maharaj was a devotee from the very birth. Because he was instructed by Narada Muni when he was in the womb of his mother. And he was a great ruler, right? So Dhruva Maharaj, he was also a devotee from the very beginning of his life, but he was a great ruler, great king. So do not misunderstand that by accepting Krishna consciousness, everything will be stopped. No, nothing will be stopped. Simply one has to change the consciousness. That's all. Just like Arjuna did. Arjuna was a fighter in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. He remained a fighter after hearing Bhagavad Gita, right? He did not change his position as a fighter, as a Kshatriya. But in the beginning, he was thinking non-conscious, not non-Krishna conscious. He was thinking of his personal interest, personal sense gratification. But at the end, he decided to satisfy Krishna. So this is the difference. Materialism and spiritualism. If you want to satisfy your senses, that is materialism. And if you want to satisfy Krishna's senses, that is spiritual. So you have to satisfy. You have to choose whom to satisfy. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gopal Kintai. Top here. Hare Krishna. Mancha kalpatarubish kripa sandhubayevacha. Patidanam pavani vishma. Anantakuri Vaishnava ki jai. If you have any questions or any takeaways, you can share. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Prabhu, thank you very much for that story of Arjuna with what is the name of the prince? Oh.
Yeah, the Uttara, no?
Uttara, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is something very, very important as to why Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So these are qualities. Yeah, so thank you so much for bringing that to notice, Prabhu. So something that is not generally heard of.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Name of those qualities are Anaga and Anasuya, Prabhuji. Anaga is sinless and Anasuya is free from envy.
Correct.
And
Nice.
if we develop these qualities, we can also be a friend. Krishna will like us.
Correct. That's true.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
I also like that, Prabhuji, that, the best way is to start your Krishna consciousness. I mean, the parents should start when they conceive. So that is like Garbhadana Sanskara. So that is very nice. What happened to Prahlada?
Correct, Mother. True. That's why they say when lady is pregnant, no, they should hear more of prayers, recite the shlokas,
Bhagavatam,
and
yes.
always say all God consciousness. So that automatically in the womb, the child becomes very good citizen.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, sorry to take one more minute of your time.
Yes. No problem.
Anaga and Anusuya. These are two things that if you can just quickly in 1 minute.
Oh, your voice is getting cut and in between.
Sorry, Prabhu. I think there was a little disturbance. So, two qualities that we said to become Krishna's friend, Anaga and Anusuya, in 2 sentences, if you can just read them, Prabhu, for my own benefit.
Are you question or just sharing? I don't know.
No, I'm asking you, Prabhu, to repeat Anaga and Anusuya, Prabhu. In 2 lines, if you can just say what is Anaga and Anusuya. One is non-envious.
Yeah. One is non-envious and the other one is sinless.
Sinless.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. In the material world, we are always when anybody gets better than us, we become envious. That we should, in fact, we should be happy to see others growing. That is one of the qualities which we so that is we become non-envious. And that can be done only by devotional service, by chanting Hare Krishna, getting the higher taste. And then by doing the higher taste, all the 4 regulatory principles are already there. So you'll become sinless. If you follow those sincerely and following the instructions of the spiritual master is the greatest. Just like by following the instructions of the spiritual master, we develop the qualities automatically. There is no need to forcefully, from today I will not get angry. So I will be humble. All these words are there, but it cannot come. So by doing the higher taste is by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, associating with devotees, taking prasadam, all this, which full package which Prabhupada has given, if you go on following sincerely, especially they're following the instructions of spiritual necessities, no? That itself is the greatest boon by which we can develop all the qualities. So we'll become completely sinless and non-envious. There's nothing to do. Then the spiritual master will be so happy with his disciple. Because just by following the instructions of Narada Muni, Dhruva Maharaj could see face to face the Lord. By following the instructions of and hearing the instructions of a spiritual master, Prahlad Maharaj became a great devotee. So just how the Guru is very important. So this is what I feel from Hare Krishna. I hope it's useful.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Position of a guru is very much higher, much higher than the father or a mother.
Absolutely, yes. He is a representative of Krishna. He's actually no difference, but they don't claim themselves as Krishna. That's the difference in what Prabhupada has given us, right? Although they
Yes.
are as good as Krishna, but they are not Krishna. I am not Krishna. They're just following whatever the Krishna has told and repeating and telling us. That's the point. Very nice, Mari. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. I think we have exceeded our time. Sorry about that. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Thank you very much, Matajis, for giving me this opportunity to glorify the Lord very fast. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Uttam Prabhu. Thank you so much, Mataji. Santosh Prabhu.
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pavani Mataji, Hare Krishna. Kalyana Mataji. Jyoti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Dhavat Pranam.
Dharat Pranam, Hare Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
I need to
Krishna,
close.
Prabhuji. Dhanyavad.
Yeah.
Hare
Dhanyavad,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Dharat
Prabhuji.
Pranam. Thank you
Hare
so much. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Santosh Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. So stop.